In this video, we're going to be taking a look at missing media related to Willy Wonka, such as a 90s remake that's nothing but nightmare fuel, a Wonka TV series with some lesser scary puppets, and how you can't see the greatest adaptation of the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory story. If you want to join me along my journey of covering even more missing content, then subscribing to the channel would be humbly appreciated. Okay, let's start our tour. And remember, if you haven't got a golden ticket, just slip through the back door because Wonka never locks it. The first movie adaptation of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, renamed to be Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, was released back in 1971 and was funded by Quaker Oaks, with a budget of $2.9 million, which even for the early 70s was a very meagre budget for a family musical, thus the production couldn't afford to go behind schedule. But the plus side for the development was that Quaker Oaks was very hands-off, leaving the filmmakers largely free to do what they wanted. Movies are usually a big collaborative effort, so it is to be expected that compromises are made along the way. But in terms of editing for Willy Wonka, everything that was filmed and shot largely remained in for the final picture. That is with the exception of one scene. During the montage where the whole world is going Wonka mad and trying to find the golden tickets.
It's your husband's life or your case of Wonka bars.
How long will they give me to think it over?
We would have had one gag involving a climber being split off from his main group, coming across an Indian guru. The climber asks the old man as to what is the meaning of life. Before answering the question, the guru asks as if he's got a Wonka bar. He does and hands it over. The guru excitedly opens it, only to find that there's no golden ticket inside. When the climber provokes him yet again to answer the question as to what is the meaning of life, the guru replies by saying, "Life is a disappointment." When the scene was included at a test screening, the punchline didn't garner much laughter. The director, Mel Stewart, brought along a psychologist friend as to why the audience weren't finding that moment funny. And after attending that test screening where there was no laughter yet again during that scene, the psychologist told Mr. Stewart that there's so many people out there where they find life a huge disappointment. So the guru scene was cut out for the final prints. In 2001, the scripted scene was included for the book Pure Imagination. However, the scene itself has never been seen on any release, either as bonus content on an official release or secretly leaked for the masses to see. There aren't even any photographs available, so we don't know how the scene would have looked. We don't even know if any footage of the deleted scene does still exist. During the early 80s, Titan Publishing brought the Wonka story to Sweden with newly made illustrations to accompany the book, drawn by Bengt-Arne Rennerström. In 1983, the publication was adapted for a miniseries, airing in 10 parts, with each episode being about 20 minutes in length, being shown on SVT. They were edited as a slideshow presentation with video effects. The channel of SVT broadcasts a lot of other children's stories in the same fashion.
Willy Wonka. Är ni beredda? Näst sista delen av Kalle och chokladfabriken.
Ernst-Hugo Jorgen did the narration for the series, as well as providing all the voices for the characters.
Och då sträcker man bara ut handen och tar den.
Quite commonplace with a lot of other European kids shows of the time, to have one main actor to provide all the voices. Actor jargon has also had many other read-throughs of other children's stories. The miniseries finally came to VHS in 1996, although combined having a runtime of 3 hours and 26 minutes. The program was split onto 2 VHSs. Part 1 had 111 minutes of the program, where Part 2 had the concluding 95 minutes. The VHSs would be re-released in 2002. All 10 parts were uploaded to YouTube for a brief time, and if you did live in Sweden, then you could access them via the SVT archive. Unfortunately, by 2018, they were removed on both platforms. And as of the end of 2023, there is no accessible way to watch the show. The only elements that you can watch from the program is on the intro that's been on YouTube since 2006. And a 10-minute segment of the television room that was uploaded to YouTube in 2007. Looking at its IMDb score, it's the highest rated amongst all the other Wonka projects. Is it the best rendition of the Willy Wonka story? Well, it's a bit hard to truly come to that conclusion because 1. It's lost media, You can't exactly review something that you haven't seen. And number 2, the other Wonka projects are Hollywood blockbusters, where Chocolate Fabrican is a low-budget Swedish show, so they're kind of worlds apart. I can imagine individuals may have a preference of what they prefer, but I don't think you can truly compare them. It's like making a comparison with a Doctor Who episode made in the 70s, and lining that one up against the first Star Wars movie. For Star Wars lovers, if they're not used to old British telly, then Doctor Who may be a very acquired taste. Neither one are truly made or built in the same fashion. Heading back to Chocolate Fabrican, if we take it as an official adaptation, it's perhaps the most faithful visual retelling of the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory book, since it is a literal read-to-page-to-screen adaptation, so I think it would certainly make it a very fascinating piece to uncover. In 1972, Quaker Oats sold the Willy Wonka candy brand to Concord Confection. They would have a live-action mascot to play Wonka. The actor to fill the Wonka shoes was appropriately named Mark Sweet to play the Candyman. Mr. Sweet had a 23-year run as the character.
Scrunch and Oompas delicious treats while I perform my magic feats. Come see my candy magic show. All the magic's free, you know.
Mark is still active online and still warmly talks about his time playing Wonka. He's posted quite a fair few clips onto his YouTube channel of many of the advertisements he was involved with.
Because now you dudes are kind of strange with them tricks. That's a rope. I seen a man hung with one of them one time.
I've got a family show, Jerry.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Don't hurt me with it.
In the mid-80s, he starred in the children's television series Wonka's Fun Factory. He would host the show alongside 2 puppets. They would bring on a variety of different guest stars.
Is that really Jerry Van Dyke?
Yeah, Tammy, how are you?
Oh, I'm great. Gosh, I can't believe I'm really getting a chance to meet you in person, in the flesh, in blood even.
Yeah, flesh and blood?
And additionally would perform several magic tricks. With commercials, the episodes would air half an hour in length. About 76 programs were produced. However, for the next several decades, there would be hardly any material that would be accessible to watch. In 2011, Mark Sweet would upload the first 3 minutes of an episode to his YouTube channel, but it wouldn't be until mid-2023 that YouTube channel Paul Garner would post 4 episodes to his YouTube channel. So 4 are found, 72 more to go.
The character of Willy Wonka, for me, I started thinking about children's show hosts. Those guys who talk, "Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Is everyone happy?"
You know what time it is.
It's 1:45.
No, it's that mail time, and we're going to get your letters.
When I showed up on set and started talking like, "Good morning, star shining, the earth says hello." Even Tim was like, wow, you're really onto something here.
He's Willy Wonka.
Good morning, starshine. The earth says hello.
Then shouldn't you be up there?
Well, I couldn't very well watch the show from up there, now could I, little girl?
During the 90s, the new mascot of Willy Wonka was this 2D rendition. These commercials took more elements from the 70s film classic, such as the designs of the Oompa Loompas. In 1997, Nestle released a promo VHS tape. The casing that it came in was very elaborate. It opened up very much like a picture book with several pages, discussing the history of the Wonka brand and the type of candy that the company makes. The final page contains the content of the VHS tape itself, along with several flyers, such as the illustrations of some of the commercials, ingredients of the candy, and so much more. Sadly, we don't know what the material was on the VHS tape. Presumably, it was promoting some of the new Wonka products at the time, but that's really about it. This luxurious VHS release is extremely rare to come across. A YouTube user by the name of Toondash did a YouTube short showing off the product. It's perhaps the rarest home media release related to Wonka. Also, during this time of the Wonka candy brand, the UK commercials would feature a CGI render Wonka. While a few of them have reappeared online over the years, there are still quite a fair few promos that have not reappeared online. during the mid to late 90s when Warner Bros. Had launched the new animation division. One of the projects that was in development was an animated remake of Willy Wonka. However, what exactly happened to the project isn't exactly clear. Presumably, after the WB's release of the animated film The Quest for Camelot didn't do financially well. By consequence, it led to the cancellation of a lot of other animated projects. On July 22nd of 1998, the geek site of Ain't It Cool News released an article pondering as to what WB projects were still in development. Out of the 18 titles that were mentioned, only 2 of them were completed and saw a release, those being The Iron Giant and Osmosis Jones. It was indicated that in the article, the Wonka project might have already been cancelled during that time. In over 25 years, the only things that have ever re-emerged of the animated project are 2 conceptual pieces. The artwork is certainly less colourful and vibrant compared to the Gene Wilder version. The conceptual piece that appears to be shown violet is reminiscent of a piece of artwork done by Tim Burton, which is rather ironic as Tim Burton would direct the next feature film adaptation of Willy Wonka. All in all, we don't know how far along the animated remake got along in development. It's perhaps the one piece of Wonka lost media that we know the least about.